All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to get started now with today's study abroad programs in Spain and Latin America presentation. My name is Erica Quinones from the UCLA International Education Office. I am one of the program coordinators for our UCLA travel study programs. And I'll now have Danilo, my colleague, introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Danilo Bonilla. I'm one of the advisors. I focus on UCEAP and also do some general counseling for travel study. Welcome.
Thank you. All right, so today my colleague Danilo and I will be leading this presentation as part of our GLOW Week, during which we are showcasing the different types of programs offered, a number of study abroad related resources, as well as funding opportunities for students. So welcome again to all of you. We really appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. So let's start a little bit about who we are. So Danilo and I are representing the IEO office, which is the study abroad office on campus at UCLA. At the IEO office, you can consult with our study abroad advisors, coordinators, and we can connect you with peers who have studied abroad themselves. So you know this session is being recorded and will be available on the on-demand section of our GLOW website. We will continue having presentations throughout the week, touching on various aspects of education abroad opportunities available to you. So I encourage you all to check those out. Watch the live and recorded sessions to learn more about your opportunities. So now we'll take a look at our agenda for today. So here's an overview of our agenda. In this 30-minute presentation, we will cover various topics, starting briefly with COVID-19 updates as it relates to study abroad moving forward. Danilo will then lead us through important Study Abroad 101 refreshers. We will then briefly highlight a few of our program offerings in Spain and Latin America. And lastly, we will end with a Q&A section with two of our Study Abroad returnees. During this Q&A section, you will be able to ask questions to Study Abroad alumni and hear about their experience. All right, so let's get started with study abroad and COVID-19, since we understand you may have a lot of questions relating to COVID-19 and its impact on your study abroad experience. So we first want to share that after 18-month hiatus, as of fall 2021, study abroad programs are running in person once again. And we expect subsequent terms to run, assuming conditions do not worsen. So if you'd like to learn more about how programs are running and what safety precautions the UC system is taking, we encourage you to check out our 15-minute presentation on COVID-19 on our GLOW page, and it will address COVID-19 and studying abroad in much more detail. I'd also like to take the opportunity to remind you to renew or apply for your passport as soon as possible if you have not already done so. So the pandemic has left the US State Department with a backlog of passport applications. So it's just important that you consider the backlog and consider that it's currently taking 4 to 5 months for US citizens to get a passport from when you mail it out to when it arrives at the door. So please, we really encourage you to get in those applications if you have not already, just so there's no stress as you think about your opportunities for studying abroad. So get in that application. Feel free to reach out to our office if you have any questions about passport processing. And do keep in mind that this information is for US citizens traveling with American passports, but similar delays may be occurring with your nationality's passport processing office as well. Okay, so just keep in mind that those delays, those 4 to 5 month processing times, so you don't have to think about it when spring comes around. All right, so I'm now going to turn it over to Danilo, who will be leading us through our Study Abroad 101 refreshers.
Okay, great. So Study Abroad 101 refreshers. So there are two types of webinars. One of them was broadcasted yesterday, the Study Abroad 101. If you missed it, please go to our website and review it. Basically, we went over some of the program types. We had also credit transfer, question and answers, the cost and funding of the program. We also explained application process, deadlines, and timelines. This specific webinar here will be covering the regions of Spain and Latin America, and we will highlight some programs with a special focus in these regions. And we have two returnee students and now which are basically alumni now, and we will have a chance to ask them questions and answers. So let me go to the next slide. Okay, so there are many types of programs. One of the first type of program that I quickly like to explain is the University Immersion Program, where you study at a local university with local professors at one of our foreign universities abroad. The other program is the UCLA faculty-led programs, which are basically summer on-the-go experiential type of programs, again, during the summer with UCLA professors and mostly UC students. We also have a program where you can do internships abroad or research abroad and get units, grades, and credit for that. Again, this is just a few of the many types of programs that we have. Okay, we do have this great tool on the UCLA International Education website where it helps you choose your program. It's going to ask you what your goals are, and it's going to ask you a set of questions, and it will help you narrow down maybe one or two programs that might be appropriate for you. So definitely take a look at this really nice tool that we have on the UCLA IAO website. Okay, if you receive financial aid, you will continue to receive financial aid while you are abroad. There are also grants and scholarships available. We have special seminars or special webinars for these two topics. So make sure that you check out the UCLA IAO website. There's one specifically on scholarships and one specifically on financial aid. Okay, so when can you apply? You can apply now, basically as early as 9 months. Some programs are not competitive. Some of them are on a first come, first serve basis. Keep that in mind. And you can apply for most summer and fall programs now. So again, check out our website. So these are just a few refreshers.
Thank you, Danilo. All right, so we're going to move forward into a brief overview of UCLA travel study programs in Spain and Latin America. So quickly, what are travel study programs? Travel study programs combine the excitement of study abroad with the academic rigor of classes taught by UCLA faculty. These programs are typically 3 to 5 weeks in the summer. These programs are UCLA faculty-led courses taken abroad for academic credit, and the credit usually ranges from 8 to 13 units. Typically, each of the programs have a theme that ties to the specific place where you are traveling. So do take a look at our website if you want a full list of our program offerings. Travel study programs provide a really great opportunity for students to satisfy any degree requirements, major minor requirements, or GE coursework. All right, registration for our travel study programs will take place November 18th at 8 a.m. So mark your calendar now if you have not already done so. And now I'm going to transition to highlighting 2 of our travel study programs, one in Latin America and another in Spain. So the first one here on the slide I'm going to highlight is Spanish in the Mexican context in Mérida, Mexico. So the Mérida program is in Mexico is a 4-week-long summer program where you earn 8 units on one of 3 Spanish language tracks. So on this program, all students will participate in various cultural excursions to the Mayan ruins, cenotes, and protected wildlife reserves. It's really a great, ideal location to study the Spanish language and Mexican culture, as well as pre-Hispanic and modern day Mayan culture. So here you can see the coursework that's involved in this program. As I mentioned, students are able to choose from the 3 different Spanish tracks, depending on your previous level of Spanish taken. So for example, if you have taken at least 1 year of high school Spanish, then you're able to start with the Spanish 2A, 3A elementary track, and so on. The elementary and intermediate Spanish track courses will be facilitated by UCLA teaching assistants, while for the advanced track courses listed here, Spanish 150 and 170, these courses will be led by UCLA faculty. Those 2 courses are centered on travel and writing in Mexico. So really interesting topics to learn on site in Mérida, Mexico. Quickly, this program is a really great option if you're seeking to fulfill your foreign language requirement. So do consider this if you're looking for Spanish program options. And then I'll go to the second program I'd like to highlight here, which is Barcelona, the story of a city, its art and cultures. So this program weaves lectures, walking tours, and short day trips into the curriculum and provides students a unique opportunity to become acquainted with the city of Barcelona. So for this program, all students will enroll in 2 required courses listed here: Barcelona, the Story of a City, and Barcelona Today, its Arts and Cultures. So that's Spanish 170 and Spanish 191B. For these courses, do keep in mind that students may be able to earn credit toward the new digital humanities minor if approved through your work for these 2 courses. So yeah, that in a nutshell is just a couple highlights. Please do keep in mind that we have other travel study program offerings in Spain and Latin America. So please do reach out to our office, and you can find the full list of our program offerings on the UCLA IEO website. And we'll share that in the chat as well, just so you have it accessible to you. All right, so next I wanted to touch on our global internship program. So the UCLA Study Abroad Office has developed internship programs for academic credit, which is also a great option for students seeking to gain on-site work experience. So this program is a really great way to gain hands-on experience, increase industry knowledge, and employability. So please take note that the enrollment for the global internship programs will run from October 25th to December 5th. So that's coming up, so mark your calendar for that if global internships are of interest to you. So I'll quickly highlight internship opportunities in Colombia and Argentina for students looking for internship experience in the global affairs, poli-sci, and public affairs disciplines. So here you can see the time frame for these program locations, which is mid-June to mid-August. When it comes to the time frame, all of the global internships take place in the summer and are approximately 8 weeks long on site in country and 10 weeks total of coursework. So while completing the internship on site, you'll simultaneously be enrolled in 1 or 2 courses, earning 4 to 8 units of academic credit, which I'll show you in the next slide. All right, so here's an overview. Feel free to take a screenshot if you'd like. I know it's a lot of information here, but as you can see, within the disciplines of global affairs, political science, and public affairs, students would be enrolled in the mandatory 195 CE internship course, depending on your track, right? Depending on your discipline. So for example, if you're political science, you will be taking the poli-sci 195 CE internship course, as well as you have the option to enroll in the optional course listed here, intercultural communication in the global workplace. And that would get you to 8 credits, which is really important because in order for students to receive financial aid, students must be enrolled in 2 courses totaling 8 units. So those would be kind of how your coursework would be laid out when it comes to your mandatory internship course and enrolling in the optional intercultural communication course. If you're not in one of those disciplines and interested in these internship programs, you could speak with Andrew Bottom, who is the Associate Director of the Global Internship Program, and you two can discuss which course you should enroll in. All right, so that's really a good idea if you're still interested in these internship locations in Colombia or Argentina, but are not necessarily in the global affairs, poli-sci, or public affairs disciplines. All right, so I'm now going to pass it back to Danilo, who's going to be discussing the Global Cities Program and UCEAP program options.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
And can you see me?
Can't see you.
Okay, that's fine. You can hear me.
Perfect.
Basically, UCLA Global Cities Program opens up on November 8th at 7 a.m. This is a special student exchange cohort program. That's how I like to describe it. And one program that I like to highlight is basically in Barcelona at the University, Pompeu Fabra University. So what happens is a group of UCLA students go abroad to Pompeu Fabra. They meet the students at Pompeu Fabra and they take classes together. There are social, cultural activities together. And then the same group of both Spanish and UCLA students come back to UCLA summer sessions and they take classes together here. So this program is basically, they have upper division courses in history, economics, poli-sci, a very interesting special cohort exchange program. Okay, the other program that I'd like to highlight is one of our biggest programs, UCEAP. It's a system-wide operation. The applications are open now for summer and fall. And I do want to highlight a special program in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the Pontifical Catholic University in Rio de Janeiro. And this university, you can take classes in English, and they have a little bit of everything from history to geography, sociology, upper division classes, 4 to 5 units in English. And another great program is in Madrid, in the University of Carlos III. Again, you can take classes in English, upper division classes in social sciences, humanities. They also have engineering. You can go for fall semester or spring semester, a great popular option. And this is just a quick snapshot of the 23 different programs that UCEAP has. Again, summer, fall, or spring, or year. And you can find this information on our website as well. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to ask our students, both Deborah and Kelsey, can you please go online with your cameras and sound, and go ahead, and I'm going to start with maybe Deborah. Go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, your major, where you studied.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Deborah. I graduated from UCLA in 2020. I studied philosophy and had a minor in global studies, and I actually studied abroad twice. My sophomore year, I did spring quarter in a program split between Madrid and Rome. It was called European Transformation. And then fall of my senior year, I went to Israel and studied at the Hebrew University.
Okay, Kelsey, are you on the line? Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kelsey. I graduated in 2019, and I had a major in sociology and a minor in applied developmental psychology. I studied abroad in 2018, January through March in Cordoba, Spain.
Okay, great. And I have a question for both of you. So basically, if you can tell me a little bit about your housing, how your housing setup was, your experience. We'll start with Kelsey.
Yeah, so I was with a host family. It was a mother and her daughter who was 12 years old at the time. It was an apartment. I had my own room. I had my own bathroom, which a lot of my other classmates didn't have. So that was a luxury. That was really nice. It was always kept super clean. I hung out with my host family all the time. I loved them. We grew super close. It was like a 5-minute walk away from the school. And so it was a little bit farther than being in the hub of the city, but it was closer to the school. So that was definitely an advantage. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I forgot anything else. We would have meals all together mainly every night, and I loved it.
Okay, go ahead, Deborah.
So I started off in Rome. We flew like spring break, started in Rome, and there we were in apartments that were right next to a tram that took us straight to the university. And then 5 weeks in, we transferred to Madrid, and we were in student dorms. They were very new in a really nice neighborhood called Salamanca. And it was not just UCEAP students living there. There were also other study abroad students from other programs. But we were at, the UCEAP school was like only UC students from all over. There were a bunch of different programs there for different lengths of time. And so I met different students from all over at that point. And we lived maybe a 20-minute walk, or you could walk like 3 minutes over to the subway and get to school within like 10 minutes. And both neighborhoods were super safe and fun. And the dorm in Madrid there was a dining hall, just one dining hall, and otherwise a lot of people, we went out for tapas a lot, and we would just order out or stuff like that. So there wasn't any cooking situation in the Madrid dorms, but it was still really fun, and we were in a good, safe neighborhood to go out at night and do things. So loved it.
Great. So the next question is, did you take courses in your major, and how did that go with transferability? all that.
Do you want me to go?
Yes, go ahead, Kelsey.
Okay. So for sociology in particular, I mean, the program, the 3-month program satisfied my language requirement that I needed for graduation. I had taken up to AP Spanish in high school, but didn't take the AP test because I was intimidated, and then went to Spain, and because of the immersion program and living with my host family who only spoke Spanish, I just was like truly immersed in the culture and spoke the language all the time, as well as took the Spanish courses that they offered there for the 3 months. I was also able to take art history of Andalusia, the region that Cordoba is in, and then an art history class as well. So those didn't satisfy, those were just extra credits. I didn't necessarily need them as a requirement, but it did satisfy my Spanish language requirement.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
So I had a global studies minor, which made it easier to get credit for my program. So there was actually somebody who was a global studies major on the same program, and we took all the same classes. It was 2 classes and a language program in both countries. So we took the same classes, and interestingly, you have to petition for credits in your major for most study abroad programs. And we actually applied for credits in 2 different disciplines in the same major, and both got approved within global studies, which was really, I was surprised to hear that they approved both, but that just goes to say there is a certain level of flexibility. If you can make a good argument that you fulfilled the pillars of what they want you to learn, then they'll give you credit for it. And just for more insight, when I was in Israel, I was able to get a year of Hebrew language credits that satisfied my foreign language requirement. And I also was able to actually take a philosophy class there that counted towards my main major. So it really just depends where you are, because UCLA does want to give you credit if they can, and it works.
Okay, great. How about the next question about finances? How were the finances overall? Was it more expensive, least expensive? Did any of you receive any type of state or federal financial aid?
My financial aid carried over. So the same thing, I know you guys touched on that earlier in this presentation, but from what I would be applying to UCLA, it transferred and applied to my study abroad program, which was great. I think going to some of the meetings with you, Danilo, and different things, I had the same expectations, or the expectations were met for how the costing and the pricing would be. I ate at home a lot there because that was included in my host family. And so I didn't eat out as much, but we definitely would enjoy tapas and go out for that as well. And weekend trips were just on my own accord. But yeah, so I think I factored in everything, and it was, it didn't surprise me or catch me off guard being overly expensive than what I had anticipated.
Likewise, my financial aid applied. I was lucky enough to have a full scholarship at UCLA, so I was actually looking for a program where I could apply my scholarships and not have to pay a bunch more. So that's why I chose a quarter-long program, because it was actually comparable. If they accounted for about $1,500 in flights and a couple other travel-related fees. But if you discount that, it was actually the same cost of attendance as a quarter at UCLA. So it transferred over really well. I think the budgets they provide are really realistic in terms of if you want to break it down by day. Like, I took the money I had and decided what's my average spending a day, and also allocating for weekend trips, because you are in a region where you can travel so much. Like, the picture of me is actually in Portugal on a weekend trip. I also got to go to Morocco. Somebody actually in a meeting like this told me about it's called We Love Spain. They have like student trips that will just like organize everything for you. So that made it really safe and affordable. So I was really well taken care of. My financial aid transferred perfectly. I actually got a full scholarship for the remaining $2,000 gap. So that it's definitely doable with scholarships, and yeah, it worked out really well for me.
Okay, great. Wow, it seems like you had a really good time, both of you. I really want to thank you, Devorah and Kelsey. And then we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to go over a couple more things, and then maybe if the returning students or alumni can kind of think of final, advice, anything that you can give to our UCLA students that are applying. Also, if there is any time, we'll answer some questions on the chat. But let me just go to the next slide really quickly. Again, the International Education Office, we're located in Murphy Hall. We are still working from home, but the best time or the best way to reach us is over email. We can set up a Zoom meeting with you. There's also virtual advising Monday through Thursday. So we are accessible, again, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So please reach out to us. And then the last thing is, if you can take out your cell phones, the students that are applying, and go ahead and scan this QR code. Again, this will give you some information of upcoming events, news, information. So definitely use this. So again, I want to thank everybody. So do we have any questions for the panelists? Can somebody look at the questions? And if not, maybe if Kelsey and Deborah, any final advice for our UCLA students?
Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's any questions. So if you two can just share any advice for students exploring their options, maybe thinking back to your exploratory phase, what advice can you share?
So specifically as it pertains to getting credit and making it count, I went to talk to, in both scenarios, the philosophy office and the global studies office in advance to understand, based on the course offerings, what credits I could get, where they would apply within my major to make the most of my time abroad. Also, I personally recommend either a quarter-long system or program, or if you're going to do a semester, do it in the fall, because our quarter system doesn't translate well to spring semesters. So when I was in Israel, I did a fall semester and then came back for 2 more quarters of my senior year. So that was really nice. And yeah, it's just, there's only so much research you can do on like the trips you're going to do while you're there, because you'll meet people and you'll want to travel with them, and there will be certain natural things that it's just, people are going to, in my case, Venice, because we were in Rome, and like it's just like, you don't want to pre-plan that too much, and you can do a lot of like inter-European travel just planned a week before. So just research what you can in terms of school, but also have fun and just go with the flow and be safe, but have a good time.
Thank you, Deborah. How about Kelsey? Any final last minute advice?
Yeah, I think I chose mine, based off the quarter system as well with UCLA. I know it's most popular to go in fall, but I chose the winter program because I did only want to be gone for a quarter and not have too much time. And it just worked out best with what they were offering in the different regions. And I had a friend go in the fall with the same program, so she kind of got to be the guinea pig, which was really nice for me. But I think just go outside of your comfort zone. It was my first time out of the country, and I went alone. I didn't know anyone in my program, and I made some of my like best friends still today, as cheesy as I know it probably sounds. But I just really tried to like meet everyone there, talk to everyone there, as well as just the local people, and integrate myself into their community. And again, my host family was really great at emerging me into their lives and including me in outings and things like that. But yeah, take advantage of just all the opportunities. I also had the chance to go to Morocco. That was the program offered through my program in Spain. And so it was like the most eye-opening experience. I could ramble on about it forever. I loved it. So I just think do things that you wouldn't normally do. Of course, stay safe, and Cordoba was super safe as well. But yeah, I think just going outside the comfort zone in order to learn more about yourself, because I will forever be grateful because I learned so much about myself in traveling and all of that.
Great. Thank you. So once again, muchas gracias, Deborah and Kelsey. We will be in touch, and the students too, if they have any questions, please let us know. So Erica or Danielle, are there any last questions? If not, we're gonna go ahead and stop recording and stop the session.
It looks like we're good to We're good to go. No questions in the Q&A or chat currently.
Okay, perfect. Once again, we're gonna end this session and thank you very much. All right, thank you.